Thank you all for joining. We've had a couple of Zoom calls leading up to this one, and this is the culmination of everything we've been talking about. We are really excited to welcome Ali Segersten today to the call. She'll be diving into her book, The Elimination Diet. To give you a layout of what we're doing today, we'll share with you what we're doing on the format of our 2-week group. We're coupling with Dry January, which is kind of a pop term for people just not drinking alcohol in January after their holiday hangover. But we wanted to couple and build momentum off of that to do a 2-week deep dive detox with a resource, the Elimination Diet book, and start a group where we can offer space to answer questions as you facilitate your own journey. So today, Claire will share a bit about her background and what she's excited to bring. And then Ali will also be available to share more specifics and deep dives on the book itself. And then we will open up for questions, and we'll stay as long as we need to help everyone get their questions answered. In my personal life, I have done an elimination diet every year for the last 7 years. And every time I do it, I understand way more about my body, but I have really surprising results: pain, brain fog, skin issues. I had eczema for probably 8 years. I was taking steroid creams and no relief. Anytime I would stop the creams, the eczema would come back. 3 weeks into my elimination diet the first time, this was in 2015, the eczema was gone. When I started to retox, when I started bringing things back in, certain triggers would bring the skin condition back. But now I understand it and I can control it. I had a L5 herniation, a low back issue in 2011 that haunted me for a while. And it is through the elimination diet, coupled with my breath work, my movement, my meditation, and hanging out with Claire as often as I can, that I'm able to manage that. Every year in January, I get cleaned up and the fog is lifted, and I can see with clarity what I'm trying to accomplish in the year, and we can set accurate goals and build accurate strategies. Anytime I've tried to do things like this on my own, I have not had the results that I've wanted. But whenever I do it with friends and others who are trying to accomplish goals, the accountability and the support that we give to one another, the empathy that we get when we hit our hurdles, and the shared strategies, especially when we bring professionals in who can answer questions for people who are having specific issues, then the results are almost guaranteed. And that's what we're trying to build, as a community that starts somewhere together, gets to our own individual pillars of success on our paths, and share a resource in the elimination diet, the book that the author Ali is here today to talk about, so that you can also be guiding yourself on this path any chance you want and anytime you want to restart this process. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Claire.
Great. I'm Clare Cattarin. I'm the nurse practitioner with Functional Health and Healing. So detoxification is big. And when we retox every day, because we live in a toxic world, we just build these toxins up. The power of food is immense. Removing what's harming you, replacing what's needed, and rebalancing. This is what Lance and I have done together for the last number of years. We have totally focused on really those three things: remove what's harming you, replace what's needed, and rebalance. So my stories personally with detoxification is very similar to Lance's. I had eczema for 10 years. I'm a lot older than Lance, so I had it a lot longer than Lance had it. Never knew anything. And I'm a nurse, man. I was in internal medicine for 15, 20 years. We went through the detox, my joint pain. I have 2 joints that just flame up. The pain went away. I think more clearly. I've personally experienced it. Ali knows it like the back of her hand. And part of this also, Lance is my community. We met 2017, I think, 2016, and immediately started to build a practice that worked together. We saw a vision, and community is part of that vision. If you can get your partner, you can get your friends, you can get somebody to do this with you. We know it experientially. I also hear it from my patients. When they're doing this with their partner, they make the 100 yards. They make it to their goals. I want to introduce Ali Segersten. She is the author of this book, The Elimination Diet. We have asked everybody who is serious about the detox to buy the book. It really is one of the best books that I've read. She is amazing. I'm going to let her take it from here.
Right. Thank you both. Yes. So the elimination diet, essential to get you started in the process of the why and the how. You start out with a 2-day detox. Like Claire said, this is about removing what's harming you and replenishing with all sorts of healing nutrients. You're going to be taking in a lot of cruciferous vegetables that are going to turn on antioxidant genes, detoxification genes. You're going to be consuming a ton of anti-inflammatory antioxidants through soups and juices and smoothies and making broccoli sprouts. Hopefully, if you get to that, you can also buy them in the store, of course, in a lot of different co-ops. But I started actually with this process about 24 years ago. I had so much brain fog and sluggishness and lots of digestive problems. I started making a lot of fermented veggies. And I brought in a lot of healing nutrients to my diet, and I cut out dairy and gluten and, sugar and soy and all sorts of different foods, and everything cleared up. And it was amazing. And I had this awakening, right? And so then I decided to go to nutrition school, and that was in about 1999, something like that. And so I've been doing this since then and creating very healing recipes for people that want to go to that next level. And what I say to you is this: we all have addictions to different things, to foods, to alcohol, to behaviors. And really doing an elimination diet is an act of self-love. How worthy are you to cut out what's harming you and do something to create healing and for yourself? This is a form of self-love. The other thing that's amazing about the elimination diet is that it gives you a tool so you have contrast. So in the future, you're going to fall off and you're going to go do things just like these wonderful practitioners were saying. We all do it. But because you have contrast, you know how to bring yourself back into balance with these tools. You can start cutting out foods that you know are harming you, and you can start bringing in anti-inflammatory nutrients and recipes and lifestyle that can quickly shift you really quickly. It's amazing because we all do it. We all fall out of balance, but then within a day, I can shift myself back into balance because I have those tools. So that's what this is all about. This process teaches you contrast, and it gives you these tools so you can, for the rest of your life, maintain that balance. I have also created a wonderful membership platform called nourishingmeals.com. We have hundreds and hundreds of elimination diet recipes tagged for each phase. We have meal plans. I've made the process so incredibly easy. So this is nourishingmeals.com. It shows you recipes for your specific diet. So once you do an elimination diet and you find out, I can't eat almonds or I can't eat cane sugar or corn, all of a sudden you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of recipes that are specifically for you. But I will show you on this search page, you have a diet profile page that you can set up. But on the search page itself, right here, you can go to diets and allergies and type in elimination diet phase 1 right here. So this is the first phase. This is juices and smoothies. This is like a 2-day detox to jumpstart your system into feeling better. It's going to cut out everything that's harmful and bring in just an immense amount of healing nutrients right here. Over 50 recipes just for this 2-day detox, right? This is teas, broths, and pureed foods. X this out. And we're going to go to phase 2, and you will see 322 recipes currently right now for phase 2. And this is going to just allow you to create meal plans. You can open up a recipe like this, and you can add it to your personal meal planning calendar. You can create a meal plan. So let's say you wanted to do, my elimination diet, or, week 1 prep. There we go. Add to and click meal prep. You can do that.
I have to chime in because I actually use this tool for my patients, and I have been for about a year. Your food has never tasted so friggin' good. I'm going to tell you right now. Allie is a phenomenal chef, and the recipes are in the book, and it's well written, and it's very easy to follow.
The great thing is and I didn't mention this before, you can easily in 5 seconds or less create a shopping list with all of your recipes that you want to make for that day or for that week. It's really incredible at reducing all that time, because otherwise you're going to go through all of the recipes you need to make to prep for everything here. And you have to you have to add it all up yourself, eat like a bunch of kale here, and I need a bunch of kale for this, and an onion for this. And it becomes really overwhelming, and it takes hours to do that, especially if you're doing a specific diet. And so with this system, all you have to do is say, I want to create a shopping list for these days on my calendar, or for this meal plan. And you have a shopping list created, and you can edit, delete things you already have, and it's already made for you. You can print it off. You can take your phone to the store. So it saves an immense amount of time, and it will help you be more successful on this diet. That's the important thing. It's for you to get really, really organized, because you are going to be challenged by your habits and your addictions. When you cut everything out, what's going to happen is you're going to experience, if you've never cut these foods out before, and I don't know where everybody's at, you're going to most likely feel intense cravings for the things that you've cut out, like cheese, alcohol, gluten, things that are very addictive. And so if there is a plan in place, organization, you can even print out your calendar for the week, and it comes out in this beautifully organized printed form. It's so easy to use. So if you are organized, you will be more successful. And that's really where it's at. Because if you cheat just a little bit, you're not going to actually have that contrast, because these immune chemicals aren't going to calm down, because they're constantly getting activated from the food you're eating. And so you're not going to be able to actually have that contrast without it completely out of your diet. You've got to get it out of your life, out of your diet, to actually feel what it feels like to be calm and to feel yourself again. And then you can start bringing it back in, and you'll all of a sudden, have this epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I experienced all those symptoms all this time, and it was that food that was causing it. But I didn't know until I had it out of my diet 100%. And so having a plan and preparing and being very organized is going to help you be very successful for that.
I want to just chime in on that for just 1 second, and then hand it over to Lance. There's a guy, his name is Alessio Fasano, who is kind of a god in the functional medicine world. And he says, if you want 100% results, you need to give it 100%. If you want 80%, you give 80%. And I think that is something that we need to rely on. Sometimes we really want to do this, try to give it 100%. You can do it with the book. I did it with the book before Nourishing Meals came on board. So it can be done. It's just a tool that is available for you should you want to use it.
And this is something that each year we learn a little bit more of the specificity, and any time, it's not like I am so fogged now that I can't live my life. I actually am pretty close to where I know I want to be, but I can feel the sensitivity that I've built over time after doing this so many times. It's just, I know what really healthy and focused feels like, and anything less than that, I also know is within my control. And so when we build a group like this, why we're confident that we can facilitate it is because we've hit a lot of roadblocks, we've hit hurdles, we've overcome them, we've built our own strategies, and we also love the accountability that when we do it with you, you will help us succeed as well. And so we want to share a bit about what the next steps are. The program itself, we're calling it Dry January, because I think that's the hook that's going to get a lot of people who are already cutting out alcohol, who may want to go another layer deeper to take care of some autoimmune issues, some gut issues, some skin issues, lots of different things that will benefit from this, joint pain, and then, I mean, name it. If it has anything to do with inflammation, it will be helped by this experience. We are going to be doing January 2nd as the registration deadline. Part of that is because we really want to create a buffer window for people to prepare themselves for the launch on the 7th. So we are creating the final decision day as January 2nd, and that is the first day of 21 daily videos that will be sent to you. Each of the videos will be about 1 minute to 2 minutes, so it's quick inputs, but they are mini lessons on things that might be coming up for you, or ways to focus this type of a diet or food experience as you're starting to adapt in your environment, socially, in your home, personally, how you'll be feeling in your body, what conversations might be coming up in your network of people that may help you and may make it more challenging for you. And these are things you want to be prepared for as you go into it. After that first 5 to 6 days, we will approach the actual launch of the program, and that is the 2-week detox. That starts on Saturday, January 7th. And Claire and Allie will be jumping onto a live Zoom. I will be with my sons and with Monica, so I'm not available that particular day, but I will be eating the foods that I have prepared in the previous 5 days. And then on that following Monday, the 9th, we will have 1 of 2 weekly Zoom calls. So that Monday at noon, we will have a Zoom call where people have experienced their first weekend, or in a program like this, what we like to call their strong end, because this is when you have the control of your schedule. Maybe during the week, things are all over and jumping on you. But in your strong end and your weekend, you will have had experience. On Monday, you can bring questions. So we'll hold, an hour of space if needed. We can share what our experiences are, welcome people from the community to ask questions, do a deep dive, share any other resources that are relevant, and then continue on throughout that week. And we will continue to send those daily videos to you. And then the following weekend, Strong End comes that following Monday. That will be the 16th. That's our final live Zoom call. That will be the beginning of that second week. And then at the end of that program, you get to continue on, because the elimination diet goes much further than just 2 weeks. As you saw in the nourishing meals, Allie's done an amazing job of building a tool that walks you along the path and gives you and saves you so much time. I know Monica and I are at home also going to be doing this. Our kids are going to be doing this alongside us, because everyone's going to benefit the same way that I know I need to. And then at the end of that program, you guys are the boss, what you want to do next, whether you want to continue to facilitate yourself with the elimination diet, whether you want to jump on with nourishing meals and attempt that. Claire and I do a 6-month total health accelerator program for those that are really dealing with significant challenges and they want the deep dive, where we're taking care of eating, moving, thinking, recuperating. That's something we also do every year. And so this 2 weeks is an intensive for people who are ready to get started. We want to make it as simple as possible. I wouldn't say easy, but as available to you to begin and facilitate your own process. And just to recap the most important dates. By January 2nd, that is the registration deadline. I'll share the registration link here in the chat. We'll also, you can send your name and email there to be included in all the conversations moving forward. We'll also send this replay out to all the platforms and email lists that we have available to us, so that if you want to share this with anybody that you know, love, trust, or know needs this, feel free to share that with them. January 2nd is the registration deadline. That's the first day of 21 daily videos that will come out. The actual launch is a live call on January 7th. And then we'll have 2 more Zoom calls. The first action, other than registering for that, is to get the elimination diet book. I was already told by some of my patients that according to Amazon, there's only 7 left. And Allie might be able to touch on a good place to get that with prediction, because I don't know if Amazon has the only 7 copies in the world. I saw 2 on Thrift Books. And you might actually just have a website you can buy it from too.
Yeah, well, our website links to Amazon.
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, I think you can buy it online through that. But yeah, you can go to nourishingmeals.com and click on books in the footer of the website. And I think I have other links where to buy it. So
cool. So they are available, and it is the holiday season, so it might take a little while to get going, to get that book in your hands. We ordered ours in advance, and I bought 5 copies so that I could give them to the patients that I have that have signed up that were worried about getting it before Christmas, because they want to start reading and preparing for this.
you can also buy it Apple iBooks, I think, as like an ebook.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So for those that need it immediately to get going, you have that option also. So thank you for everyone who joined us today. Again, we'll send out this replay. We are going to take a moment to answer any questions for those. You can either put them into the chat, or you can come off of mute if you have that option. I can also help you come off of mute if you need. And we can take as much time as we need today to help you. And otherwise, make sure you register by January 2nd with the link in the chat here. And we are here for you, and very grateful for anyone who goes on this path. Claire and I have done this, like she mentioned, for 5 years together, and it always deepens our experience of life, helps us get more life per moment. And the more people that get to partake with us, we have an experience with them that deepens our connection and helps us feel hope, because we know when people are feeling clear in the gut and clear in the mind that they contribute to the world. And that's what we really need, is to clear the fog so we can all see what we need and help each other get what we want. So if there's any questions, feel free to ask in the chat or live, and we'll hold space for another 10 or 15 seconds or so. Claire, if you or Ali want to share anything else. Rosemary, you have a question?
Good to see you. Thank you guys for
too.
doing this. What a blessing that you're bringing this to our awareness and walking alongside of us. So thank you all for doing that.
Pleasure.
Questions for you. Number one, when I read about the book, it said there were a lot of juicing recipes. Is there a way to do it in a blender, or do you have to get a juicer?
No, you don't have to get a juicer. You can just use the smoothie recipes. Do you have a blender, like a Vitamix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just focus on the smoothies and the broths and the pureed soups.
Okay. And then it was on Audible. So if I got it on Audible, is there like a link to where you can get the recipes online?
If you buy it on Audible, Amazon it comes with the PDF of all of the recipes. They're like the second half of the book is on a PDF.
Okay.
But
and
that
then
comes from Amazon itself.
Okay. And then the nourishing.com, it looked like there was a monthly subscription. Is there, like, if you do it monthly, can you do just the monthly option, or do you have to like get a whole year and the monthly is really just to break it up in payment?
Yeah, you can do monthly if you'd like. That's $14 a month, or we have a holiday special right now for 25% off an annual membership. So you can do either one, but it's pretty cheap it's not just recipes, because we have, the whole planning system, meal plans, and grocery shopping list generator. So it's it's whatever works for you. And you can always cancel after a couple of months if you don't find that it's useful to you.
I tell my patients, just do 1 month, see if you like it. If you like it, if you're hooked and it works and it's working for you, then go ahead and join for longer. But, do a month. I mean, $14, I can't even park at the meter for $14. So, it's insane. But I think a 1 month trial, if this type of platform works for you, do it 1 month, see if you like it, then join if you want, if it does. Great.
And then the last question was the elimination. You guys are doing the 21-day, but how long is is that the extent of the first part of the elimination? And then there's like somehow a continuation that's explained in the book, or how does that work?
I'm gonna let you take that.
Yeah, we follow along with the book. We're just kind of getting kicked off in phase 1 and 2. And Ali, if you want to dive into how long the book walks people along, like what that path looks like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, phase 1 and 2 are just 2 weeks, but we recommend people stay on that longer until your symptoms clear up. So it's, and then it's a very slow reintroduction process, starting with the foods that are least reactive first, like citrus and some nuts and nightshades. Like, we start with citrus because it's usually the least reactive. And so you're slowly adding foods back in, but you really don't want to start doing that. And that's all explained in the book. And you guys are going to explain it in this process too, until your symptoms have calmed down. So that's the key. So some people end up staying on phase 2 for 3 months. And it just depends. It just really depends on how much your body has become out of balance and how much you need this immune system calming and nutrients coming in. And sometimes you might need to talk to Claire or Lance about supplement support and digestive support. So, and we have information on that in the book too.
Yeah, my experience with it is that people know. I mean, when people in my practice have gone on it, they're like, yeah, 2 weeks is not long enough. I want to be on this longer. I am not ready to start reintroducing. So people have an intuitive know-how. They know, and I really trust that. I really actually try to draw that out of people. So if you feel like 2 weeks is good enough, you'll know, because you're like, okay, I can't wait to start adding foods back in. There is there is an intuitive sense in that. There is wisdom in that. It takes a month. If you have a serious IgG reaction, complement reaction, it can take 6 weeks to calm that down of no one of that one food, right? But you kind of, I love the way Ali has done this in the book, because you start with the citrus, and I tell people 3 to 5 days before you add in the other food. So I kind of elongate that out. So that reintroduction is like, it's a little bit longer, but it's just because then when you get to the real reactive foods, which are added in at the end, those are the ones that are the highest triggers. And when you add those back in the end and you've waited a longer time, man, you know if that thing's going to react with you or not. It's like,
yeah, those highly reactive foods like gluten, I mean, it can take 6 months to calm the antibody response down for gluten. So it's helpful to keep, that's why that's the last food to reintroduce. But you know, with citrus, you know, if you want to reintroduce that after 2 weeks and then keep everything else out for another 2 weeks, that might work for you. And that's the benefit of kind of joining in with this group, so you can have questions answered and you can modify it and sort of see where you're at.
So with gluten and dairy, that's something I've been off of for 2 years now, and I do very little sugar and very little processed food. So I'm assuming that the diet will have, like, I didn't know about citrus, for example, that there's other things that will you'll become aware of for especially like cognitive or vestibular issues.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're already off of gluten and dairy, you're, you know, it's going to be much easier to do this diet. And you're not going to reintroduce those. So you're going to focus on, you know, citrus, nightshades, nuts, beef, and pork are removed. Also, eggs, soy, corn, things like that.
Great. Thank you very much.
And although I can't see your face, Rosemary, it's really nice to hear your voice.
It's good to see you, Lance. You're amazing.
Yeah,
appreciate you. And excited about you finally getting on the microphone. We talked about that 2 years ago.
We're doing it. Yeah.
Praise
Thank
God.
you. This
Awesome.
is partially encouraged by you. It's just a long trail.
Yeah, well, you're doing it. That's all that matters.
Cool. Thank you so much for everyone else who has contributed just by being here. It is powerful. Your presence is felt. And just to know that there are people who are needing this and wanting this, to know that there's a resource like the elimination diet that allows us to take it at our own pace when we are ready, and people who are willing to come together as a group to try to combine and build momentum together to start the new year off. We will wrap up. And just as one final reminder, January 2nd will be the registration deadline. We have the link here, and we'll include it in the replay email that we send out and onto the Goga Chiro Instagram page particularly. And if anyone else has questions that are not appropriate for this place, feel free to reach out directly. I'll get my email here, Dr. Lance Von Stade @gmail. And you can send it directly to me, or you can reach out through gogachiro.com or Primary Functional Medicine or Functional Health and Healing.com. FYI, Claire, the link in your email from today was from 12/12. So the replay, some people already got a replay. So we'll send messages back out to our communities to make sure they're up to date with this call. And we will be holding space for folks. And we're launching January 7th. Try to get in before the 2nd. And anything else from Claire or Ali?
Thanks, Kia, for saying that.
Okay, I think we're good to go. Everyone enjoy your week. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. And we'll see some of you in January. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.